Hey there, Ryan Wyatt for High Point Music. The topic of today's video is going to be teacher versus self-taught, and the reason we're going to go through this is to help you make a decision on what is the best way for you to be learning. So we're going to run through some of the pros and cons of having an instructor versus being self-taught. I'll give you some insight in that, and all with the point of helping you make the best decision of what is right for you. Before we jump into the video, if you want to support us, subscribe button, if it's there or there. Support links are in the description below. If you want to request content for a video with a lesson tutorial, just get in touch via the comments on the YouTube page as well. If you want my help personally, one-on-one, that's all in the description below as well. So let's start off with teacher. That'll be our first topic, or instructor. What are some of the pros about it? The first step that you should, if you are someone who's looking to seek out an instructor, the first thing you have to have is, I would look for these characteristics in a teacher. In my experience, great teachers are people who can see the student for who they are, what their skills are, what their goals are, and they teach that to that student. They teach to what that student's goals are, what their ambitions are. They don't come in and say, this is a program, everyone does the program, you have to do it this way, there's only one way to do it. Because in my experience, the teachers that I've had the best working relationship, I've noticed they teach to the student. They share their skills with the student to allow the student to become the best version of themselves. That's a hallmark of a great teacher, and that's something you should be looking for with someone that you're considering hiring as an instructor. Okay, because the video could go for 2 hours about the downsides with someone who doesn't fit that mold. Okay, so if you get that sorted out in the beginning, you're going to have a very healthy and enjoyable, rewarding experience as a guitar player. All right, so you found a teacher who understands what your tastes and ambitions are with the instrument, who can understand exactly where you're at technically with the instrument, and also can give you the systems and processes to get to where you want to go. So you get that in order, you get your house in order in relation to that, you're going to save a heap of time. The process is going to be greatly simplified and save you time, because you're just going to walk in, you're going to get instant feedback on your exercises, what's working, what's not working. There's no think work on what I have to be doing, all that sort of stuff. It's all given to you. And it's all specifically put together for you to help you develop the skill sets that you want to go where you want to go with your playing. So that's a huge thing. It takes all the guesswork out of it. It just makes life super simple for both parties. But again, it boils back to, you have to get that. You have to find the right teacher or instructor for you. That's crucial. You get it sorted, everything's going to flow really, really smoothly. Another plus side of that is accountability. Having someone that you're going to work with weekly or fortnightly or monthly or 6 monthly, it could be. If you've got bigger things to be working on, look, that's really cool. And that's another plus of having someone, or having to pay for someone that you're going to work with. Look, if we flip to the other side of the coin with being self-directed or self-taught guitar player, I think it's easier to make the case for this one on looking at the negatives. But still, the first step is exactly the same. You have to find the right content that's the right fit for you. A system or a process that is the right fit for you. I think it's slightly more difficult, and increasingly more difficult, just with the overwhelming nature of the internet. There's so many courses and people with their own ideas and processes. A lot of marketing with like quick courses like master the guitar for, I don't know, I'm just making this up, but like master the guitar in 1 week or 10 days or whatever. And very much like people wanting to lose weight quickly. It's like get the new diet and all that sort of stuff. But so it's harder to find the information that's relevant to you and where you need to go. So finding a trusted source is really important. But if you get that sorted, again, it's happy days. But if I had to sum up the downside of being self-taught, it's just a lot more work. It's not impossible, especially if you get that student content relationship or student course relationship sorted and working really well, you get that lined up, it's perfect. But it's a lot more work because you need to be accountable. You need to be motivated. You need to be disciplined enough to be picking up your guitar regularly, doing your practice. Another area where it's more work is you have to do all the problem solving, all the feedback. So if something's not working, you're not getting something, you have to work that out. And that's more time consuming. And particularly if you're a beginner, or the lower you are down on your fundamental skill sets or time on the instrument, the harder it is. And it's, I know the feeling of like you're doubting what you're doing, like, oh, I don't know if this is working or not. Like you're rocking up, you're putting time in it, you doubt whether the process is working. And that's really not a great place to be as a musician or with anything that you're working on. It doesn't matter what skill you're trying to cultivate. You got to have faith or confidence in the system or the process so that you can just relax and you can go about just doing your work and building your skills. So I hope that's summed up being self-taught. The thing is, I think with self-taught, while it's not impossible for beginners or intermediate players, it's more than possible, especially if the content is of quality and in line with what you need to be working on. It's great. Happy days. But the better you become as a guitarist and a musician, and the higher your level of self-awareness that you have in order to, make corrections with your skills, the more suitable you become to being self-taught or self-directed with your learning. Okay? So that's something to keep in mind there. But again, coming back to that idea, if you get that relationship with your content and in line with what you want to do, then it's all happy days. So if we're wrapping this one up, pulling this one together, having an instructor is a lot easier. It takes a lot of the guesswork out of it, provided that you get the right instructor for you, someone who's going to teach you to what your current skill sets are and has a look at who you are. Not just saying, here's a system, do the system, because it doesn't work that way. That might have worked X amount of years ago. I've encountered many teachers like that over the years, but I think with the way music's consumed, the way music's listened to, like playlists. I remember when iPods first started coming out, like showing my age here, but I could see that it was shifting from that playlist. People going less and further away from albums and more towards playlists, which means people were mixing more genres of music together. So I think people's ears are becoming more accustomed or wider than just listening to one style of music. So I think guitar players need to become, and musicians in general need to become more flexible through that. So I think that idea of just having one course, like you got to do this, you got to do that to be a great jazz player, it's very specific, it's very niche. Not that there isn't good information in there, but it's a very niche way to learn. So yeah, just trying to gather my thoughts there. I'll sprint through quickly. That's the thing. Teacher's going to take all the guesswork out of it, provided you get the actual right teacher for you. Same thing with the content. It's provided you get the right content, you're off on a good footing, but it's a lot more work for the reasons I've previously stated. So look, if you have any questions, if you are a beginner or an intermediate player and you are struggling with that, you've got a great resource here. You can send me a message on the channel. I'm more than happy to hear your questions, give you feedback, put together video content for you. So take advantage of that resource, because the whole purpose of this channel is to help people become better guitarists and better musicians and have an awesome time doing that. So that's what both Lewis and myself are very passionate about, building that community. So don't be a sucker, take advantage of that resource. So there we go. That's everything there. Wrapped up in those two topics. You ultimately need to decide, based on what I've stated there, if you're someone who's more motivated, you can hold yourself to account, self-directed might be better for you. If you want it made simpler, you are just an instructor might be the best way, but make sure you find the right one for you. This one's been a lot of fun, people. If you want to support us, hit that subscribe button, support links below, request content via the comment section. If you want to get my help personally, that's in the description as well. Have yourselves a great day, practice up, and I will see you all in the next video. Cheers.